Shalom. This is a little response to my last video that I made concerning, well, the past few that I've talked about conversion and stuff of that nature. First of all, let me state this. At UTOM, our heart, again, is to share Torah with anyone who's hungry. We don't make groups between those who, basically Jew and non-Jew. We feel like that once you are serious about wanting to follow the Torah, you at that point become Jewish within your soul. Now there comes to a point, once you learn, you grow, that you make it official. And that's when you would go before the Bet Din. You would go to the mikveh and get immersed. And from that point, you are Jewish. You have a Hebrew name, as we all do. You will have a mikveh, and you will stand before a Bet Din. And on that moment, you will be declared Jewish. What does that mean? The only thing it means is it verifies what within your soul and your spirit you've already decided to do was take on the Torah and run with it. Walk with it or crawl with it, whatever. One commandment at a time. You will learn and you will grow, and we will never, ever achieve everything we need to know upon this plane that we're living in now, because it's an ever-learning journey. That's the first thing I want to state. Second thing, we at UTOM, and this is not an argument fight anyway against anyone out there, we do not agree with the Noahide laws. We agree that Noahides is a good start. We agree that the Noahide position is a good place to get your feet wet. I can recommend a lot of sites, the Noahide Nations, Noahide.org. These groups are great groups to get you in to start learning Torah. They got great classes. There's great people there. I'm thinking of Patterson, who runs Noahide Nations on the radio, Israeli National Radio. These are good people. They really are. We at UTOM are concerned with one thing. We don't want people to get comfortable with saying, "Oh, this is all the Torah I have to do. I don't have to go any further." And the reason why we say that is it's not because we're judging or we feel any eternal damnation. It's because we don't want you to get lazy, because we feel like the Torah is it's a humongous field that you can just run and take upon things. To say that you only have to observe 7 laws is shortcoming yourself, because you could take on so much more. And according to the Talmud, a quote Noahide can take upon 613 commandments. The only thing is they can't feel like they have to, and the second thing is they can't stop once they start. Well, to me, if you're taking on 613, you're a Jew. I don't care what anybody says. If you're doing 613 commandments, you're not a Noahide, you're a Jew. So that's the statement I want to make first is we at UTOM, we're not fighting. If you don't like this, turn it off. I don't even want to see the comments unless you have a legitimate question. Because the fact of the matter is we do not think that's the limit yourself, if that's as far as you can go. Second of all, one of the questions is who are going to be the nations? If there's no Noahides, we can't all live in Israel. We can't all be priests and kings and blah, blah, blah. Okay, first of all, you're limiting God, because you're looking at the map now at the nation of Israel and thinking that's all there is. You need to go back to your Torah and see the original boundaries of the nation of Israel, and I think you're going to see a bigger picture. Some even believe that the whole earth will be inhabited. Okay, number 2. The nations are going to be this. There are righteous people within Christianity, Hindus, Muslims, who have good hearts, who are truly trying to serve God in the best way that they know how. Some have never even heard of the Torah, except in ways of anti-Islam, where they're trying to kill them and stuff like that. And of course, if you spent time in Christianity, the law's been done away with. But I'm going to tell you, there's righteous people within these groups. And I believe that God has a way of showing people their mistakes in their faith and correct them. Some may not ever come to Torah. Some may stay within the Christian picture but see things don't line up and live a righteous life and helping people. You know, how do you look at somebody like these nuns who give their life and feed homeless, feed the people in these nations and just give up everything to take care of the poor? That's a righteous person. So we believe that the nations are going to be filled with people in their religions who may be contrary to Torah, but yet they find righteousness in God's eyes. And these will be the paid people living in the nations. These will be the people that we will be ministering to during this time, teaching them then the ways of Torah. So there's people out there, there's people that are atheists who are good people. They're atheists who truly care about their fellow human being, and for some reason or another they've been burnt through religion or whatever. They don't believe in a God. And there's also bad atheists too. But there's good in everything. There's good in all people. All people, I don't agree with Christianity in a sense. I don't believe that all people were created. They're evil when they're born. I don't believe that. I believe we're born pure. I believe we're born with a pure soul. And the evil, we let things happen to us. We let things take over in our lives that make us unrighteous. Second of all, I do not believe when you look at someone like Enoch, my hero. This man had more than 7 commandments. Now, first of all, we're looking at a different era of Torah because they didn't eat meat. So the clean and unclean laws didn't matter as far as eat. But he knew how to sacrifice. He knew the commandments of walking holy before God. So Enoch was giving the Torah that he needed to apply to him to teach righteousness in that generation. Noah, clean and unclean animals, he knew how to sacrifice as Enoch did also. Abraham, same thing. Knew the clean and unclean, how to sacrifice. He knew the laws. Seth, who was teaching these things, who knew a bit more. So we see that there was a bit more of Torah given than the 6 commandments at the time. And of course, the Noahides say 7 came later on. What am I saying? I'm saying this. Please don't settle for something that was never to be settled upon. The Torah is open for all people. God is big enough. He's got a plan. We don't even need to worry about the afterlife. We don't need to worry about the kingdom when when the temple's going to be rebuilt and stuff, because He's going to take care of that. The fact of the matter is now, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to just settle for 7? Are you going to be told to break the Sabbath, that you should light the candles after dark because you're not a Jew, when God commands you not to light a candle on Sabbath? And I'm not judging, because people, I have to work on Shabbat. It burdens my heart. It burdens my soul. And that's a lot of the reasons in my past why I considered Noahidism, because it made me feel better. It made me feel like, well, if I do this, I ain't got to do this. I'm going to tell you something. God shined the light on me and said, no, I created you. Basically, you're in exile now, and you do the best you can do. But don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself on the outside of camp to justify things. What are you saying? Let's forget the titles. Let's forget the titles of Jew, Noahide, and all this stuff. Let's all be Hebrews. Let's all cross over. Let's all leave the titles of religion. I'm telling you something. This is why me, David, and John could care less about religion. Because religion has set boundaries, has set borders to people don't even want to cross no more. Please, lose the titles. Get rid of the labels. And let's go on. Let's take Torah on and grow in that area. This is #1 video. I'm fixing to make another one to bring up some points about this. But this is the first one to share my heart of why I feel about Noahide and titles in religion. Thank you. www.utom.org. I'm sorry.